Hello everyone and welcome back to the Inclusion Coach. My name's Rebecca and I am your Inclusion Coach. If you're working on building an inclusive mindset, you'll know that bias is one of the things that we need to work on to overcome to help us to think and behave more inclusively. In videos on this channel previously, I've talked about the halo and horns effect and I've talked about confirmation bias. Did you know that beauty bias is a thing? I touched on it briefly in the halo and horns video, but today we're going to dive in a little bit deeper. Beauty bias is where somebody who's considered extremely physically attractive is automatically attributed with greater social skills, more positive traits, greater qualities, just a better person all round than somebody who's considered to be less physically attractive. And we see it everywhere in life. We see it at work, with our friends and family. We see it with employment opportunities. We see it in society. And of course, we see it in social media. It's everywhere. But what is beauty and who decides who's beautiful? Well, as you'd expect, there are different standards of beauty in different societies. But it's easier for me to tell you which societies and cultures don't prioritize physical beauty than those who do. In the Scandinavian countries, for example, there's more emphasis on things like gender equity, general well-being. In some indigenous and sub-Saharan African tribes, there's more focus on your community spirit, your spiritual growth, and your harmony with nature, for example. And in Bhutan, a little country in the Himalayas, they famously have a gross happiness index. And in Bhutan, what is prized again is communal spirit and overall well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being, and what you contribute to your community. The rest of the world, and I'm generalizing here, tends to place physical beauty as a priority in people's opportunities in life. So while I'm waiting for my Bhutanese resident visa to come through, let me talk you through how beauty bias shows up. In social situations, attractive people tend to receive more positive attention. They're more social validation. They're seen as desirable people to be around. They may be seen as more approachable, more likable, more trustworthy, and that in itself can lead to more opportunities, both socially and from an employment perspective. Talking of employment opportunities, when hiring, studies have shown that physically attractive people are more likely to get the job, they're more likely to be offered a higher starting salary, and they're more likely to get that promotion. And this all links back to the beauty bias that attractive people are more competent, they're more professional, they're better at getting the job done. And the same is true in education. Studies show that teachers are more likely to give more support, more positive evaluations, spend more time with students who are more attractive than others. And it doesn't take a genius to work out what kind of impact that has on the education and its outcomes. And of course, social media is notorious for reinforcing unrealistic beauty standards. So beauty bias is perpetuated through the media presenting physically attractive people as more desirable, more successful, more socially acceptable. Finally, and more scarily, beauty bias has been shown to be present in our legal system, where attractive defendants are likely to be judged more leniently by juries, get lighter sentences than people who are less attractive. And you won't be surprised to hear me talking about the racism element of this beauty bias. In countries which are predominantly white, we're socialized to see white skin as more beautiful than black or brown skin. And it's not just white people who are socialized to see it that way. We see colorism, where people from the same racial heritage see lighter skin as more desirable, more socially acceptable, darker skin as less desirable, less socially acceptable. This partially harks back to the slave trade, where enslaved African people with lighter skin were often given privileges and higher social standing than those with darker skin. So next time you find yourself drawn to someone or repelled by someone for no apparent reason, ask yourself why. Ask yourself what assumptions you're making about that person. What assumptions are you making about their kindness, their intelligence, their skills, their capabilities, solely based on the way they look? It's an interesting one to ponder, and I hope this has been thought-provoking. Thank you, as ever, for watching, and I'll see you next time.